Hi everyone, in today's YouTube video I'm going to be showing you how to make a reusable tassel bag out of an old t-shirt. So to do this you'll need a pair of sharp fabric scissors, you'll need some fabric chalk, and you will need a ruler as well as your set of instructions. So what we need to do first is we need to cut off the arms of our t-shirt, okay? Cut off the sleeves to make our handles. Okay, and then we will cut the neck of our t-shirt as well to make the opening of the bag. So, as following your instructions, we need to cut around the edge here of the sleeve of the shirt. When using fabric scissors, we need to make sure that we do long, big strides, and we're not doing small, choppy strides because that makes the cut on our fabric quite jagged and not very neat. So that sleeve has now been cut off. I'm going to cut off the other side. So I've cut off my sleeve here. There's a part here that's not very, it's the bit of the seam that's left in, so I'm going to chop it up, chop it off just to make it nice and neat. And they look pretty neat to me. Okay, so they are going to become our handles and the sides of the bag. The next step that we need to do is we need to cut the neckline off, and we need to make it a bit wider so that we can open the bag up and actually put stuff inside. So I'm going to follow along the neckline here, but I'm going to make it a bit deeper, and I'm going to go for a bit of a U shape. You could change it if you would like. You can make it pointy. It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. Perfect. So if I was to hold it up like this, okay, I've now cut out the parts of my t-shirt, and these are the handles of my bag, and when I open up my bag, this here is where everything will go in that I would like to pop in there. Okay, now we're going to move on to the bottom here. So, depending on the size of your t-shirt, alright, mine is actually quite small. So the longer you do the cuts from the bottom, the less space you actually have in your bag. Okay, so because my t-shirt is actually quite small, I'm going to have a look and a measure, and I think I'm going to do about 7 centimeters. So with my fabric chalk, I'm going to grab a colour that stands out, so for me it will be blue, and I'm going to put a dash all the way along at about 7 centimeters so that I know roughly where to cut up to. Perfect, so I've put a line across at about 7 centimeters, okay? And this is going to give me a guide as to how long my tassels are going to be. The next step is to measure about 2 centimeters apart for the cuts for our tassels. So I'm doing 2 centimeters apart so that they're a bit bigger. That means less knots that you have to tie together, okay? And it'll stop them from tearing as well. So if they're about 2 centimeters, I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and then I'll move my ruler across and start again. So this is just a rough guide to help you when you grab your scissors so that we're not just chopping everything up. So if you can see, I have now popped all of the markings on the bottom of my t-shirt. So it's really simple from here. Now with your scissors, you just need to cut long, straight lines, okay, up your t-shirt, okay, vertically up your shirt. So cutting both layers of the t-shirt, make sure you're holding them together so that they're both being cut evenly, okay, and these are my first few little tassels here. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to cut the rest of my tassels on my shirt. Perfect, so as you can see, all of my tassels have now been cut out. Now the best way to do that is on a flat surface. I really recommend a flat surface, and you need to make sure that you are holding both of the layers of your shirt down, okay? So that you are cutting both sides of the shirt, the front and the back, evenly, and you're not ending up with a big tassel at the front and only a little piece of fabric at the end. So our next step now is to tie the tassels together. To tie our tassels together, we are looking at getting the matching tassels, so the front and the back, and we're simply going to tie it in a knot twice. So I'm going to start with this tassel here, so this is the front and the back. I'm going to get it, tie it once in a loop, and again. So I've got a little knot, it's hard because it's white, I've got a little knot at the end and my tassel is tied. So you need to go along and you need to tie all of the tassels on the bottom of your shirt, okay? And you can do a few more than just one knot if you would like, because it might add a bit of a decorative feature to it. Perfect, now as you can see, all of my tassels at the bottom are tied together. Okay, and I've got a nice little frill at the bottom. This, the only thing that I would recommend is going back and double checking that you have tied the bottom all in a double knot and that there are no gaps, so that small things that you might pop in your reusable bag don't fall through. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Making sustainable little tassel bags out of reused clothes or old pre-loved clothes is a great idea for the environment. It's really sustainable because we do produce a lot of waste through textiles every year, and it uses lots of water to grow cotton and stuff like that to make t-shirts. So it's a great way to reuse them rather than just putting them in the bin or donating them. You can use them for yourself and keep them for a bit longer.